So on my last YouTube video, I was back jiu-jitsu comps and Chris left a comment in the comments section asking about motivation and mindset. So I said to him in the comments, rather than reply to you here, I'm actually gonna do a video on it because it's quite a good question and it applies to a lot of guys who are probably in the same boat. So the question was, how do you get back into this training mindset again? Particularly when you don't enjoy the gym or training anymore. I did have good fitness in my 20s and 30s. However, beyond this, I've struggled to stick at training and ultimately I end up losing motivation and focus. So I'm going to start with the motivation and sort of finish up on regaining the mindset. So I see motivation as nearly the bookends. So it's like, I want to join a gym. I want to get super buff, six pack, hench, whatever. I want to buy a guitar. I want to be able to play like Slash. I want to get join a golf club. I want to play off scratch. What else is good? I want to join a jiu-jitsu club. I want to get my black belt. So motivation's often these bookends. And the problem being that the start of the journey is really, really easy. There's a low barrier to entry. And on the other side of that, getting your black belt is going to take at least 10 years. Becoming a scratch golfer, it's a lot of hours being put in. Playing a guitar like Slash, it's a lot of hours being put in. And getting in great shape, you don't do it in 6 weeks, contrary to what you're going to read online or whatever. So being able to stick with it is a lot harder than being able to start it. And even then, black belts still train, Slash still plays guitar, scratch golfers still play golf, and guys in great shape don't automatically stop. So the bookend at that end isn't even really true because you can keep going far beyond that. So then how do you start, go through the journey, get to your goal, and even go past what was originally maybe the end goal, and you just keep going and going? So everything starts with a why. And this is a bit cliche and it's a bit sort of wanky, but it is true. When people start in the likes of the gym, it's a very vague why in terms of I want to lose weight or I want to tone up. And that's pretty much the general gist of it. And I'll say to guys, well, make your why a bit thicker, put some more meat in the bones, let's add in some other stuff. So it becomes, I want to get stronger, fitter, more mobile. I want to improve body composition, maybe more energy levels. I want to lower my blood glucose, my rest and heart rate, recovery heart rate, blood pressure. I want to get out of bed and not feel pain in the morning. I want to be able to go up the mornings and not feel like I'm having 2 heart attacks. So your why becomes a lot bigger. And then James Clear talks about it in his book Atomic Habits, of tying your identity to your why. So it's not just I want to lose weight, I want to tone up. For likes of me, it's I want to be a fit, healthy dad. I want to see my kids grow older. I want to try and stay as free of illness for as long as possible. I want to be able to grapple and do body weight stuff and do rings and handstands and flip and do all sorts of craziness as I get older. So then all of a sudden, I don't just have get fit or tone up. I want to be a human Swiss Army knife who can literally do everything and feel great in the process for as long as possible, because we are constantly depreciating and it scares the shit out of me. So I'm just kicking that can down the road as far as possible. So to start off, most people get it wrong because they come out of the blocks and they're like, right, I've joined the gym, I'm going to go 2 hours a day every day, and they burn out, get bored, get sore, get injured, get frustrated. And again, James Clear, it's a great book if you haven't read it. Talks about a guy, and I don't know if it's actually in the book or he talks about this in a podcast, but about a guy who goes to the gym for 5 minutes a day. And straight away, even as a coach, you look and go, you're not going to do much in 5 minutes. You're going in and getting one set in. But the guy who went to the gym for 5 minutes a day actually lost a lot of weight. And what he was doing was nothing to do with exercise. He was building habits. And that's the whole idea behind the likes of Atomic Habits. It's trying to do the small things that no one notices. And again, I think it's a human condition is to say, join the gym, buy the supplements, get a new tracksuit, go online, start 4 routines that you don't know really what you're doing, and yeah, you crash and burn within a couple of weeks. So for some people, just go to the gym, walk on a treadmill for 5 minutes, do that every day for 3 weeks, and then layer it up and layer it up. So you have to start small, and we'll build it up. So to come back to Chris's question in terms of motivation, the bookend. So motivation is basically what gets you started. And again, it's like a Nike advert. It's very cliche. But motivation is, I want to join the gym, or I want to be buff. And there's those sort of bookends. The in-between is discipline and habits. I have my weight training and my jiu-jitsu in my diary, and I have modified my work to suit that. Now, some people think that's absolutely crazy. But having a strength workout penciled in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday in the morning, I know I'm going to do it because it's in there, it's in my diary, and it's no longer, oh, I might train after work if I can feel like it, which you won't. It's, I am prioritizing myself because, again, that identity and the goals that I have are so strong and so big that a couple of hours a week to get them is a no-brainer for me. So I think of 2 big ways to go from this side to this side, and that's obsession and or lessons. So when I was younger, in my teens and 20s, I was obsessed with training, nutrition. All I did was lift weights and obsess over my food, and put my first paycheck into like protein powders and creatine. And in terms of lessons, then I started doing courses and spent thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on courses in my teens, 20s, 30s, and even now I still do courses. So if you want to get good and you want to stay motivated, you need to be obsessed and or get lessons. And I was lucky enough that I've done both. Put a lot of money into learning about it. I've put a lot of time into practicing it. For guys who haven't got the time to be obsessed with it and go to the gym every day or whatever, generally it's a good idea to go and get lessons. I am a coach. I do get lessons with the likes of my guitar playing, and it makes a massive difference. And in terms of motivation, if you know what you're doing and why you're doing it and you're seeing results from doing it, it's a lot easier to stay motivated than the guy who's going to the gym and then leaving and not really knowing if it's working or not. Another part of that question is, I did have good fitness in my 20s and 30s. I hear you, Chris. I hear you. We all did, you know. Good fitness in the 20s and 30s is easy, to be honest. And yeah, I think that's a big problem for a lot of guys who are my age. I'm 43. Is trying to do workouts that would have worked when you're 20 and 30. I think that's a big part of staying motivated and seeing results in your 40s plus, is not training like a 20-year-old who is obsessed with it and does nothing but train and recover. Because again, it's not about the training, it's about how much recovery you need from that training. And as you get that wee bit older, you know, you might need a lot more recovery. So getting towards the end of Chris's question there was, particularly when you don't enjoy the gym or training anymore. One thing I always say to people, and it sort of helps them a wee bit, where when I started training, I didn't enjoy it. You know, I was a skinny teenager. Brother was dragging me to the gym. Wasn't really fussed. I knew I wanted to be less skinny and a bit stronger. And I stuck with it. And once I started seeing results, because we were obsessed with it as kids, training became a lot more enjoyable. And when I come to train myself, I don't come skipping into the gym every day doing somersaults and feeling amazing. Some days I do just go through the motions. Some days I can't be arsed. Some days I do take it off, even if it's in my diary or I have it wrote down to train. But it's like everything, you know, you won't always enjoy it, but my whys are so strong. It's like I don't enjoy massively brushing my teeth, but I still do it twice a day because I know the benefits are so good. So yeah, it won't be super enjoyable, but sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze. So you just have to stick with it if you want to hit those goals that you set out at the start. And the last bit is, how do you get back into this training mindset again? So I personally don't really believe that I have a training mindset though. You know, I love being challenged and overcoming it. I love the feeling of improving in my jits and getting a pump in the gym. But it also comes back to that why, you know, for a couple of hours a week that people would be spending on Netflix, I'm heading towards my jiu-jitsu black belt. I'm getting better at the guitar. I'm feeling good in training. I'm feeling good in the gym. And for me, it's such a low cost, like a couple of hours a week, and I'm able to tick all those whys that I've set out for myself. So for me, there's no such thing as a training mindset. Me training is like brushing my teeth. It's just one of those things that I do, and I've done it for so long. Um, but it all tracks back to the earlier stuff I've mentioned. You have to see progress. You have to either be obsessed with it or get some sort of lessons to help you get over any hump or obstacle. And then you just add in time and consistency, trust the process, and hopefully that helps.